He survived acid storms, plasma wars, and alien beasts with 10 mouths. But the day he stepped into a human shower, he screamed like a baby, an alien warrior, broken by warm water, disarmed by soap, and seduced by something far more dangerous than weapons, Earth women. They stripped him of his armor, wrapped him in pink towels, and whispered things that short-circuited his brain. But this wasn't just pleasure. It was a trap, because now, the whole galaxy is watching him live, from her bathtub. And what she does next, no warrior can survive. Welcome to Predator Protocol, where humans aren't just tough, we're irresistible. I'm Rafe, the voice that dares to narrate what your girlfriend wishes she could dream about. And today, you're not just watching a story. You're inside a scandal that could start a galactic war over a damn bubble bath. Let's begin the story. Commander Zarnok of the Ultran Empire had never screamed like that before. Not even during the acid storm raids of Nara 7. Not when his left arm was melted by plasma vines on Vorthak Prime. Not even when he was buried under a collapsing bunker on Zelion. But now, he sat in a white, shiny chamber that smelled like flowers. Hot steam choked the air. Strange bottles stood guard around him like earth poisons ready to strike. The room was small, too small, and wet, very wet. His armor sensors were glitching. Water was dripping off every metal plate, trickling down into parts he'd rather not mention. His translator sparked and buzzed, misinterpreting the humidity as hostile atmosphere. He hissed and ducked when a thin stream of water sprayed from a silver snake above him. Ambush from overhead! Invisible liquid weapon detected! He slid to the back of the tub. Yes, that's what the Earthlings called it, a tub. It was curved, smooth, and filled half-chins, by with hot water. He didn't understand how something that looked so clean could feel so deadly. The mission was simple, or at least, it was supposed to be. Infiltrate Earth. Observe their hygiene rituals. Record data. Escape. But then, she entered. The door burst open with a giggle. Zarnok froze. She walked in like she owned the galaxy. Hips swaying, one hand on her towel, the other holding a glowing rectangle. She was exposed. Skin everywhere, pink and smooth and glistening, curved in ways no battle droid had ever been built. Her lips curled into a smirk as she looked down at the alien warrior trembling in her bathtub. Well, what do we have here? She said, raising an eyebrow. You cosplayers are getting braver every year. Zarnok's eyes widened. You are the female? Last I checked, she said, dropping the towel ever so slowly, revealing even more skin. Though, I wouldn't mind a second opinion. Zarnok's translator stuttered again. Warning, mating ritual detected. No, I am not here for that, he cried. She stepped forward. The towel dropped to the floor behind her. Then why are you sitting in my tub, all wet, and armored up like you're about to invade my shampoo? Zarnok tried to stand. The tub was slippery. His foot slipped and he fell flat, splashing hot water all over her legs. Oh, my planets! Careful, space boy, she laughed, leaning over. Her face was close, very close. He could smell something. Vanilla? Coconut? He didn't know, but it was intoxicating. She touched his helmet, running a finger across the visor. You boys from Mars or something? Or is this part of a freaky roleplay? I am Zarnok, of the Ultran Empire, he said, puffing his chest as best as he could while half submerged in soap water. Oh, a full character act. I like that, she said, biting her lip. She bent down and reached toward the faucet. Let me make it hotter for you. The metal hissed. Steam blasted out. The water around Zarnok turned to fire. His sensors screamed. No! Temperature critical! Relax, baby. It's just a little heat, she teased. This is torture. You humans call this a cleansing ritual? She pulled a pink bottle off the ledge. Let's try some body wash. She squirted the liquid into her hands. The scent was overwhelming, fruity, sharp, sweet. She rubbed it onto his chest plate with both hands. Suds formed. So shiny. I bet your real skin's even smoother. Please, do not touch sensitive circuits. Oops, she whispered, pressing harder. Too late. Zarnok was overheating. His core temperature spiked. His helmet lenses fogged. Emergency. Thermal sensors failing. Emotional readings unstable. You're adorable when you panic, she said, sliding her fingers down his armor toward his waist. Wait, that's a control panel. What does this button do? She pressed it. His chest armor popped open. A hiss, a glow. Steam rose from inside. Oops, she said again, pretending it was an accident. He scrambled, splashing like a terrified fish. You are a cruel interrogator. Oh, sweetie, I haven't even started. The light above flickered. His comms buzzed. A message from the ship blinked in his visor. Commander Zarnok, status report required. Did you extract Earth hygiene data? He stared at the screen, then at her. She leaned in, whispered near his ear. Tell them what a dirty, wet mess you are. And just like that, the bathroom door creaked again. Another figure stood there. Wet hair, muscles, a man, holding a second towel. Stace. Who's the green guy in the tub? Zarnok's head turned slowly. More humans? His heart dropped. His circuits froze. The man walked in. Stacy smiled. Looks like we'll need a bigger tub. Zarnok gripped the tub's edge. His armor buzzed. His translator asked, Initiating group hygiene protocol? The screen cut to black. Zarnok didn't move. Not Beck. Boss, he didn't want to, but because his circuits refused to obey him. He sat stiff, soaked, half-armored and half-naked, trapped between Earth's most feared weapon, a human woman, and her friend. The male, broad shoulders, damp black hair, towel dangerously low around his hips, stepped closer. So, is this some kind of kink night? He asked, eyebrow raised. Stacy grinned. Relax, babe. He's just studying Earth culture. Zarnok's translator buzzed. Hostile rival detected. Engage alpha posturing. But he couldn't move. The hot water sloshed gently as Stacy slipped her hand around Zarnok's shoulder like he was her prize. He's a little shy, but I think he's warming up. Zarnok twitched. My circuits are melting. Literally. I need extraction. Or maybe, Stacy said playfully, he just needs a good rinse behind the ears. She reached for the detachable showerhead and aimed it straight at Zarnok's face. A hiss of water. Steam burst into the air. Zarnok screamed again. Acid deployment, my optics are compromised. Stacy giggled as he splashed backward, slipping again in the tub. Oh, come on, she teased. Don't be a baby, it's just water. Water. From hell. The male leaned against the wall now, watching like he was at a comedy show. Damn, Stace, you sure know how to break a guy. Zarnok growled. I am commander of the Ultran Death Legion. I have destroyed moons, battled lava worms. And now, Stacy interrupted, you're squealing over soap bubbles. She lifted a loofah, pink, fluffy, smelling like strawberries. No. No. Yes, she whispered, dipping it into a bottle marked Silk Blossom. It's time for exfoliation. Zarnok's HUD blinked red. Warning. Skin abrasion weapon detected. She rubbed it gently along his arm, then across his neck, down his chest. His breathing grew faster. His translator sparked again. This is surprisingly pleasant. Told you, she winked. Humans do foreplay better than any alien. Zarnok coughed steam. I do not consent to mating. Oh, sweetie, she purred. No one's mating you. Yet. Zarnok's circuits did something new. They buzzed, in ways he wasn't trained for. Then suddenly, beep, beep, beep. A red light blinked on the side of his helmet. Incoming message from High Command. He scrambled to grab his comms, slapping the side of his visor. A tiny hologram of Admiral Crox appeared mid-air, eyes wide with horror. Commander Zarnok? Why are you shirtless? And foamy? Zarnok tried to sit straight. Sir, I was ambushed by scented liquids, by Earth women. They used body wash. Crocs gasped. Dear galaxies, you were tortured? Mentally, physically, sensually. I don't know anymore. Behind him, Stacy licked whipped cream from her finger. He's learning fast, she whispered into the hologram. Is that a female? With whipped protein foam? Yes, Admiral. Her species calls it dessert, but I believe it's a mating lure. Crocs trembled. Abort the mission. You're compromised. We're pulling you out. Zarnox stared at Stacy, then at the towel-wrapped male leaning in the doorway, then back at the warm, steamy tub. His chest opened slightly, tiny lights flickering. I may require more time to collect data, Admiral. You're staying? For scientific purposes? Yes. Crocs growled. So be it. But beware. Humans are manipulative, seductive, extremely flexible. Zarnock blinked. Flexible? Yes. They can touch their elbows to their backs. Both elbows. By the stars. The transmission ended. Stacy crawled to the tub's edge, dangling a white towel in one hand. Ready to dry off, soldier? This towel, it traps moisture? No, she said, eyes sparkling. It sets the mood. She flung it around his neck, pulling him halfway out of the tub. Come on, green boy, you've earned a reward. Zarnock slipped. Again, falling forward, face planting into her shoulder. She didn't pull back. Instead, she leaned in closer. I'll show you how Earth women really say thank you. Just then, a loud ding echoed from the other room. Stacy turned her head. Oh crap. That's my other date. Be right back. She vanished behind the bathroom door. Zarnock sat motionless, soaked, alone, wrapped in pink towel hell. The male raised a brow again. You look like you just lost a war. I did, Zarnock muttered. And the enemy used shampoo. He looked up, eyes narrowing, a strange, unfamiliar feeling rising in his chest, something Earthlings called jealousy. The bathroom door creaked closed behind Stacy. Zarnock sat in silence, soaked, soapy, wrapped in a towel that smelled like lavender lies. He turned to the human male still standing by the door. The man was sipping from a bottle, some earth drink, orange in color, fizzy, and labeled mango heat. He took a long sip and smiled. She always does this, he said casually. Pulls in someone new, makes them sweat. Zarnock blinked. Sweat, as in physical exertion or emotional meltdown? Both, the man chuckled. You holding up okay, Space Cadet? Zarnock sat up straighter, clutching the towel like a cape. I am Commander Zarnock of the Ultran Empire. I do not sweat. I leak confidence. The human grinned, walking over. Well, Commander, better get used to it. Stacy's the kind of girl who likes to test endurance. Zarnock's translator buzzed. Warning, incoming competition for mating rights. He tensed. What is your relation to the female? On Earth, the man said, leaning against the sink. We call it situationship. Zarnock's circuits sparked. This is a complicated planet. The man reached out and tapped the alien's helmet gently. Don't worry, buddy. You're not the first alien she's batted. What? There have been others? The human just smiled. Why do you think she keeps the tub so big? Zarnock stood, water dripping from every inch of his body. The towel slipped a little. He yanked it back into place quickly. I must remain strong for science. The man laughed. Right, science. Then, footsteps. Not Stacy's. Heavier. Boots. Military-like. Zarnock's head snapped toward the door. The human raised a brow. She invited more people? Suddenly, the door burst open. A tall woman in dark clothes stepped in. Black lipstick. Combat gloves. Her name badge read, Agent Lexa, Earth Defense Intelligence. She aimed a small scanner at Zarnock. Alien identified. Codename, Bubble Boy. Zarnock gasped. You are a warrior female? Interrogator, she replied. Level 9, STEAM certified. He stepped back, slipping slightly. Why are you here? To ensure you don't leak anything dangerous. She stepped forward, raising the scanner. Zarnok raised both hands. I surrender, but please, no more hot water. She looked him over and smiled coldly. Cute. You're scared of a little shower, but you came here to spy on humans? Our empire believes your rituals may be weapons in disguise. Agent Lexa squinted. They are emotional weapons. Behind her, Stacy returned, carrying 2 glasses of red wine and wearing a silky robe that looked like it came straight from a forbidden galaxy. Oh, Lexa, you met my little science project. Lexa smirked. He's trembling. He likes it, Stacy whispered, handing Zarnok the wine. Zarnok stared at the glass. Red, swirling, thick. Is this blood? Even better, Stacy winked. It's fermented grapes. Gets your circuits buzzing. Zarnok sniffed, took a sip. His helmet display glitched. Sweet stars. It's poison that tastes like pleasure. Lexa leaned closer, tapping her boot against the tub. He doesn't seem dangerous. Give it time, Stacy whispered. I'm just getting started. Then, all 3 of them turned toward Zarnok. Stacy with curiosity, Lexa with evaluation. The man, still drinking mango heat, with amusement. Zarnok backed into the tub wall, clutching the towel tighter. What is happening here? Stacy sat on the edge of the tub. You wanted to learn about Earth, right? Lexa crossed her arms. Then welcome to your first group interaction. The male leaned in. This is where it gets interesting. Zarnok's circuits fried. His HUD flashed red. Too many unknown variables. Sexual tension levels. Critical. He tried to climb out. The towel caught under his foot. He slipped, fell face first, into Stacy's lap. Lexa raised a brow. Is that how aliens say hello? No, he shouted from her thighs. That was accidental docking. Stacy burst out laughing. You're so adorable when you panic. Zarnok struggled to rise. He was dizzy, warm, confused, and slightly aroused. Then he noticed the camera, in the corner, a blinking red light. Recording. Wait, are you capturing this? Of course, Lexa said. Earth protocol. Everything's stored in the cloud. Zarnok froze. The cloud is watching me bathe? The male chuckled. Don't worry, Bubble Boy. You're gonna go viral. Stacy leaned down and whispered into his ear. Better hope your emperor doesn't watch Earth's streaming platforms. Zarnok's jaw dropped. A slow beep echoed from his visor. Another message. High command alert. Your footage is trending on Earth's net stream. Do not engage mating behavior on camera. You are still under observation. He stared at the screen, then at the 3 humans around him, and realized he was in too deep. Literally. Zarnok did not sleep that night. Not because he didn't want to, but because he couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard Stacy's voice in his head, soft, teasing, like a silky earth towel rubbing against his brain. Ready to dry off, soldier? His muscles tensed. Not from fear, from confusion, or curiosity. He stared at the towel she'd wrapped around him earlier. Pink, fuzzy, warm. It still clung to his hips like some kind of earth parasite. You're not just fabric, he whispered, poking it. You're a psychological weapon. His translator beeped. Towel, domestic defense item. Can be used to seduce or strangle. He narrowed his eyes. I knew it. The door creaked. He spun around, ready to defend himself with the towel like a warrior with a whip. But it was just Stacy, hair tied up, legs bare, wearing one of those silk robes again, the ones that looked like they were designed by horny gods. Morning, sunshine, she said, biting into a red fruit. Is that poison fruit? He asked. Strawberry. Sounds dangerous. She walked closer, juice dripping down her chin. You're so uptight. Relax. She plopped onto the couch, legs up, robe sliding open just enough to short-circuit Zarnok's entire frontal cortex. I have never seen this much skin outside of mating rituals, he muttered. Good, you're learning, she smiled. So, bath time? He jumped. Again? I barely survived the last one. Don't be dramatic, she winked. This time I brought toys. His circuits panicked. What kind of toys? She pulled out a small rubber duck, yellow, smiling, floating in a bowl of water. This, she said proudly, is Ducky. Zarnok stared in horror. It watches. Stacy laughed so hard she spilled her strawberry. Oh my God, you're insane. I am trained, he shouted, clutching the towel like a battle flag. I was forged in cosmic storms. You're adorable, she interrupted. Now take the towel off. He backed away. That's a violation of galactic modesty codes. Oh, come on, she whispered. You've already seen me naked. Twice. He gulped. Only briefly. Through steam. She stepped closer. Zarnok, do you trust me? His translator buzzed again. Warning, this phrase often precedes reckless behavior. Still, he nodded. I trust. A little. Then come here. She grabbed the towel edge. Zarnok's circuits flared red. Wait, if you pull it... Shh, she whispered. Let the towel surrender. The towel hit the floor. Zarnok stood there, naked, glowing, terrified. Stacy blinked, then looked him up and down. So that's where you keep your plasma cell. It's not what it looks like, he muttered. Oh, I hope not, she grinned. Before he could respond, the bathroom lights flickered. Then, the water turned on by itself. Steam poured out. It's time, Stacy whispered. You need to face it again. The shower? He gasped. I thought I passed that trial. You passed the bath, she said, dragging him by the wrist. But showers separate men from boys. The water raged behind the glass like a monster waiting to attack. Zarnok shook. It's vertical water. That's not natural. She stepped in, naked, laughing. Come on, tough guy, it won't bite. He hesitated, then followed, slowly, carefully. The door closed behind them. Hot water blasted his back. He screamed. She screamed too, but with laughter. He slipped again. This time, into her. Their bodies collided. Slippery, steamy, skin against alien skin. I told you not to fall for me so fast, she giggled. I fell because the floor is an ambush. Their limbs tangled. He felt things. Soapy, confusing, good, very, very good. Why? Does your skin feel like soft energy gel? He whispered. Moisturizer, she purred. You should try it. She reached behind him, grabbed a bottle, pressed it to his chest. Rub it in, she whispered, looking up at him with eyes that could melt armor. Where? He asked. Everywhere. His hands trembled. He obeyed. And then, the shower door burst open. A new figure stood in the steam. Wet boots, tactical belt, sunglasses inside the fog. It was Agent Lexa. Again. But this time, she wasn't alone. Behind her stood another woman. Short hair, tight suit, holding what looked like handcuffs. Zarnok froze. Stacy blinked. I didn't invite the cops. Lexa smirked. You didn't. But he did. She pointed to Zarnok's helmet on the floor, blinking red. It had auto-sent a distress signal to the Ultran Empire, and they had called the humans. Lexa reached for the cuffs. Commander Zarnok, you're under arrest. Zarnok's jaw dropped. Arrest? For what crime? Exposing too much alien hardware. The water stopped. The steam settled. Zarnok stood wet, confused, and very, very exposed. Zarnok didn't blink. Not because he didn't want to, but because someone had a stun baton aimed directly at his plasma cell. Agent Lexa stepped into the shower stall like she owned it. Tactical, cold, unbothered. The other woman, her backup, stood behind her, arms crossed, clearly enjoying the view. And Zarnok? He was naked, wet, slippery, and fully aware that his alien assets were on full display. "Commander Zarnok," Lexa said, her eyes scanning his body like a thermal drone, "you are officially compromised." Zarnok gulped. Stacy pulled a towel halfway around him. Whoa, let's not bring the cuffs in just yet, Lexa," she said. "That wasn't part of the playtime plan." Lexa raised one brow. "He broke planetary rods Eulas, seduced a civilian, caused 3 blackouts from overheating, and worst of all," she turned to the new woman, "he clogged Stacy's water filter with alien slime." "It was body gel," Zarnok shouted. "You told me to rub it everywhere." "And you did," Stacy smirked, a little too enthusiastically. Lexa stepped closer. Zarnok backed into the corner of the shower wall, arms raised. Water still dripped off his shoulders. Every breath made his chest plate glow faint blue. "Please, I do not want handcuffs." "Oh," the new woman said, smirking. "You look like the type who does." Stacy giggled. Lexa wasn't laughing. "You're a threat, Commander," she said, holding up a scanner. "You've adapted to Earth's comfort rituals too quickly. You've gone soft." Zarnok straightened up. "I am not soft." She glanced down. "Prove it." Zarnok froze. Steam clouded his sensors again. He reached for his towel, only to find Stacy had already taken it, and now wore it like a cape. "Oops," she smiled. "You dropped this. Again." Zarnok growled. "Earth women are too dangerous." "Good," Lexa replied, "because Earth is no place for weak warriors." She flicked her wrist. Click. The cuffs snapped open. Metal. Black. Glowing. Zarnok stepped back. "If you cuff me, I won't be able to defend myself." "You're not here to defend," she said, walking forward. "You're here to learn." She pressed the cuffs against his wrist. They snapped shut, humming softly. Zarnok gasped. "What are they doing?" "Monitoring your heart rate," Lexa replied, "and your arousal." Stacy bit her lip. "I volunteer to observe the readings." "Your pulse is at 184, Lexa said, checking her scanner. "You're either terrified or turned on." Zarnok looked down, then up. "Both?" Suddenly, the doorbell rang. All 4 heads turned. Stacy grabbed a towel for herself and walked it out. "You guys play nice," she said over her shoulder. "I ordered pizza." Zarnok blinked. "What is pizza?" "You'll see," Lexa smirked. "But you better earn it." She looked at the other agent. "Strip him." Zarnok's eyes widened. "I am already stripped." "Of armor," she said, "but not pride." The new agent walked toward him, pulling out a glowing bottle. "Let's see how you handle Earth's strongest exfoliator." Zarnok's translator buzzed again. "Substance, grit level 12, smells like eucalyptus, highly invasive." He backed up against the glass. "Wait, I have rights. I'm a galactic visitor." "Oh, sweetie," she purred. "On Earth, we play by different rules." Stacy peeked in from the hallway, holding the pizza box. "He okay in there?" "He will be," Lexa called out. "Once he learns how to beg properly." Zarnok panicked. Steam still fogged the glass. The cuffs tightened slightly, reacting to his heartbeat. "This is torture. Sensual. Emotional. Perfectly designed." The exfoliator was opened. The room filled with an icy mint smell. The new agent applied it to her hands, slowly, seductively. "Let's start with your lower back. I heard it's extra sensitive on Ultrans." "No," Zarnok shouted. "That area is sacred." "Even better," she grinned. He squirmed. The gel touched his skin. Zarnok whimpered. "Too cold, too smooth, too arousing." The cuffs blinked red. Lexa smiled. "He's hitting 220 BPM. Perfect test subject." The doorbell rang again. Stacy walked back in, holding open the pizza box. "Who wants sausage?" Zarnok froze. Not again. Zarnok had eaten strange things before. Lava lizard stew from Vorthak Delta, crimson fungus root from the methane swamps of Krolin Prime, even deep-fried blood crabs during war ceremonies. But nothing prepared him for pizza. One bite, and his body changed. "Why does my face feel happy and hot?" he asked, licking grease from his fingers. "That's cheese," Stacy said, curling up beside him on the couch. "It's a trap." "I like the trap," Zarnok whispered. "The sausage was powerful." She giggled and tossed him a napkin. "Wipe your mouth, space boy. You're dripping oil all over my thighs." "It is not oil," Zarnok said proudly. "It is satisfaction fluid." Lexa rolled her eyes from across the room. "You two are disgusting." The second agent, the quiet one, was now sitting beside Lexa, whispering into her ear. Zarnok watched them carefully. Something was different about the room now. Less interrogation, more tension. Stacy leaned closer. Her bare knee brushed his thigh. He tensed. "You okay?" she asked. "No," he replied honestly. "Something is happening. My battle suit. It is shrinking." "You're not even wearing your suit," she whispered, eyes sliding downward. He looked down. The earth fabric shorts Stacy gave him were tight, too tight. His plasma cell glowed beneath them like a warning beacon. Zarnok covered himself quickly with a cushion. "Emergency! Hormonal spike detected," his translator buzzed. "You don't say," Stacy smirked. I need cooling protocols." "Or maybe," she said, licking pizza sauce off her thumb, "you just need release." Zarnok stood. "No, I must regain control of my body." He ran to the window and opened it. Cold air blew in. He breathed deeply. The city lights below shimmered. The smell of metal, oil, and distant human music floated through the night. "Earth is intoxicating," he whispered. From behind him, Lexa spoke. "You're losing yourself, Commander." "I'm learning," he replied. "Evolving." "You came here to study human weakness," she said. "But you're becoming one." Zarnok turned slowly. His eyes met hers. "Maybe that's what makes your species strong." Silence. Stacy got up, walked over, and wrapped a blanket around his shoulders. "Zarnok," she whispered, "you don't have to be a soldier here. You can just feel." "But my people, my mission." "What mission?" she said softly. "You've already passed the final test." He blinked. "There was a test." "Yeah," she whispered in his ear, "to see if you could survive temptation." She kissed his cheek. Zarnok's knees buckled. System rebooting, heart overclocked, identity corrupted. The couch behind him welcomed his fall. He sank into the cushions, dizzy, warm, confused, but strangely satisfied. Lexa stood. "We have to go. Our superiors are expecting a full debrief." The second agent nodded. But then, Lexa paused at the door, turned her head. "Commander, I hope you're ready for what comes next." "What comes next?" Lexa smirked. "Earth women don't do goodbyes. They do sleepovers." The door closed behind her. Zarnok stared at the space where she stood, then looked over at Stacy, who was now stretching like a cat across the couch. Her robe had slid open again. Just a little, enough to make Zarnok grip the cushion tighter. "Stacy," he said quietly, "I think my suit is tight again." She turned her head, smiled. "Then let me help you. Loosen up." She climbed on top of him, slow, teasing, like gravity didn't exist on Earth anymore. Zarnok's hands trembled. "Are we initiating a new ritual?" "No," she whispered against his lips. "We're repeating the old one. Until you really learn it." He swallowed hard. "How many repetitions are required?" "Depends how long you last, space boy." Just before their lips touched, beep, beep, beep. Zarnok's helmet, now on the table, glowed bright red. A hologram exploded into the room. It was Admiral Crocs, wide-eyed, furious, eyes full of betrayal. "Zarnok, what are you doing?" Zarnok froze. Stacy didn't. She kissed his neck, slow, in full view of the Admiral. "Commander, you're trending again," the Admiral roared. "We're broadcasting live across 5 systems." Zarnok blinked, looked down at Stacy, then at the camera, then back at Stacy. "Let them watch." Zarnok sat on the edge of the bed, blanket around his waist, chest glowing faint blue, steam still rising from his skin like a slow-cooked reactor. Stacy curled beside him, running her fingers along his spine like she was tracing alien constellations. He sighed, loudly, deeply. "So, that's what humans mean by cuddle." "That's only the warm-up," she purred. "Wait till I teach you what a spoon is." Zarnok blinked. "You use utensils in bed?" She laughed, and climbed on top of him again, kissing his shoulder. His entire body pulsed like an unstable energy core. "Control. Slipping," he whispered. "Let it slip," she whispered back. "Slip all over me." Just then, the hologram of Admiral Crocs still hovered in the room. His jaw was locked, his fists trembling. "Commander Zarnok, I order you to step away from the human." Zarnok didn't even look at him. He reached for the blanket, pulled it tighter around Stacy instead. "Sorry, Admiral. My hands are currently occupied." "You've lost your purpose," Crocs shouted. "Negative," Zarnok said, kissing Stacy's forehead. "I've found a better one." The Admiral's head turned red, literally. Behind him, blurry figures in the Ultron council chamber leaned in, watching the live feed. Some were taking notes, others were sweating. "Is that steam?" one elder asked. "Or is he leaking pleasure fog?" another gasped. A third whispered, "Should we send more humans?" The Admiral snapped. "This mission is over. You're being replaced." Stacy raised a brow. "Replaced? With who?" The hologram flickered. A new figure appeared beside the Admiral, tall, curvy, purple skin, 4 arms, alien, stunning. Zarnok squinted. "Wait, is that Princess Vara from Sector 9? "Indeed," Crocs sneered. "A proper mate, royalty, combat-trained. She will correct your behavior." Princess Vara blew Zarno. A kiss. "I've studied Earth rituals too, Commander. I brought 3 loofahs." Stacy sat up, wrapping her arms around Zarnok. "You're not leaving this bed for a 6-tentacled space queen. Technically, she only has 4. Still too many." Zarnok looked between them, Earth woman on one side, alien princess on the other. Both deadly. Both interested. "Admiral," Zarnok said slowly, "I believe I've uncovered Earth's greatest weapon." "What?" "Emotional warfare," he said. "Flirting, teasing, shower seduction, towel bondage, pizza intoxication." He looked at Stacy. She winked. "They disarm you with desire." He turned back to the hologram. "And now, I'm not just a soldier." "What are you then?" Crocs growled. Zarnok stood. Blanket dropped. Camera sparkled. "I'm Earth's first alien ambassador of pleasure." Stacy clapped softly. "Now that's a job title I can work with." Princess Vara tilted her head. "Permission to join your field research, Commander?" Zarnok grinned. "You can start with the shower. It's educational." Crocs screamed. "You're dismissed!" Zarnok grabbed the helmet on the table, slipped it on, looked straight into the broadcast feed, and said, "Send more showers, and Stacy." The feed cut. The hologram vanished. Stacy leaned in. "That was hot." "No," Zarnok smiled. "You are hot. The water is slightly terrifying." She laughed again, pulling him back into bed. The lights dimmed. The window showed stars outside, blinking like they were watching, and from deep space, other Ultron warriors tuned in, One of them, shaking, whispered to his commander, "Sir, permission to land on Earth?" "Denied," the commander said. "The humans will destroy you." "Sir, I want them to